Hello and welcome to the Lot to Unpack Here podcast. I'm Lee, also known as Bewildered Bee, and with me I have Alice
Hi.
and Alex.
Hey.
So, folks, we got a lot of weird subjects to get into today, a lot to unpack, you might say. So, let's just get right into it. Alex, you want to start us off?
Yep. Well, we left on a cliffhanger with John McAfee, so we gotta end this nightmare, which I've said before, we may not end, because there's more stuff. It's like he's like a really heavy suitcase that's just overstuffed. And like the more you open it, it just all falls out. Like a whole a human hand falls out, and it's like, how did that get
Oh,
there?
God.
And you're forcing it back in again. That's like his whole life. But anyway,
I'm just
it's
picturing
like-
this sort of Lovecraftian, grotesque human suitcase now, and it's very disturbing.
I
It's
know.
not
I
good.
was gonna compare it to so you get into darkish sort of fantasy. So you read later Harry Potter books, and then you decide, no, you know what? I'm gonna read some Shelley. And you're like, no, fuck that shit. I'm gonna read some Kafka. And then you're like thinking, oh, Kafka's too fucking timid for me. I'm just gonna go like all hog wild Lovecraft, and then
This isn't even Lovecraft. This is fucking Marquis de Sade, honestly.
Marquis de Sade.
oh, how right you are! For when we get into that.
I have
But
no
for
idea.
now, we shall continue where we left off. So we left the story on a cliffhanger with John McAfee's neighbour being murdered, and now we get to the Scooby-Doo shenanigans I mentioned. Well, naturally, he's wanted for questioning since his neighbour, who he has previously been known to argue with and allegedly poisoned his dogs, has died horrifically next door to him. Bear in mind,
Supposedly.
yeah,
Supposedly.
supposedly.
Allegedly.
Satire.
Allegedly, yeah, don't want to get sued.
Don't want to get killed either.
Oh yeah, that too. Not that we fear that in any way, because all of these
No,
are just
of
allegations.
course.
We would never, in any way, associate John McAfee with murder.
Of course not, John. John, we love you. We know you're a good person. We know you
John
didn't do any of
McAfee,
this stuff. This is
2020.
parody. This is satire. We all gonna vote for you. We're all gonna become US citizens just to vote for you, John.
Yeah.
No,
So John, how was that? Was that?
put down the gun, please. Please put down the gun, John.
John,
Please
can you
put them
please
down.
let my family go
Please,
now,
please go.
please? I did what you asked, John. Just please let them go.
We'll invest in cryptocurrency, please, John.
John,
Please,
please.
please.
Please, John.
So he's gone now. I think he's calmed down. I think he's
He's
gone to
gone.
smoke a joint outside. It's okay. He's calm now. He's okay.
All right,
Anyway, okay.
close one.
I'd say don't worry. I've left a trail of bath salts, leading away from the house. So hopefully he'll leave us alone.
I also slipped some LSD into his joint, while he wasn't looking.
So anyway, bear in mind he's wanted for questioning as a person of interest.
Yes.
He's neither charged nor accused of murder by the authorities. They just want him for questioning because he's their next door neighbor and he's got guns and bodyguards everywhere. And, his neighbor was, complaining of the dogs. They had beef before and he allegedly poisoned his dogs. So he does the least suspicious thing he can think of and goes on the run, just immediately.
Of course.
The very not
Yep.
suspicious thing to do.
A thing that all innocent persons do.
In hiding, at every opportunity, he's calling in to US journalists. Yes, that's right, folks. Even on the run from a national police search, McAfee does not log off. He has never logged off.
He's got that Zodiac posting energy. Just hour after murdering someone, just hi, it's me again. Hey guys.
Allegedly.
I'm definitely not accusing John McAfee of being the Zodiac. This is not an accusation I am making.
And this is the thing, he doesn't log off throughout this entire thing. He tells Wired magazine's Joshua Davis he's hiding from police questioning on his own property by burying himself in the sand with a cardboard box stuck over his head.
King shit! King shit!
This is, again, I don't even have to say allegedly. This is what he said he did.
Oh, that's so cool.
So just have that image of him while he is while he is having his interview with Joshua. This is what he says. Under no
That's so good.
circumstances am I going to willingly talk to the police in this country. You can say I'm paranoid about it, but they will kill me. There is no question.
John, you are.
They've been trying to get me for months. They want to silence me. I am not well liked by the Prime Minister. I am just a thorn in everybody's side.
John, I asked you about President Bush.
So do you want this subscription to Millionaires Weekly or not, John?
So the prime minister hates you. Any reason why?
Just does. Well, he's rich, I guess. And naturally everyone wants money out of him. It's Belize after all. I mean, this is another thing about John, which I particularly hate, which worked really well in his favor, sadly, is that he just accuses the Belize people of being corrupt and savage and all that. And all he was doing was trying to help the economy. All he was doing was just trying to help the communities he was in by building a police station and instituting a curfew.
They are very corrupt and savage, unlike me, Warlord John McAfee.
Yes. I mean, that's a very reasonable statement from a man with a box on his head. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, you're wondering how I got here. Let me tell you. Started small, military base in England. Father committed suicide. Real shit. But I didn't let that, hold me back. No. I persisted. I became CEO. And then, when I got bored of that, I quit. And then, I became a warlord. And now, that shit's too boring for me. So, I'm here, underground, safe, sound, with a cardboard box on my head, talking to you, Joshua.
Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll tell you I became the prince of a city called Belize. on a
Belize is my
military
city.
platform, born and raised.
God, this is horrible. Oh my god.
I need this John McAfee sitcom now.
Oh my god. Jesus. Like, I am surprised there's not been that many memes about this. Like, this shit is wild. And I'm not even through, like, the first 2 sentences of what I've got written down here.
I guess it's the thing, like, a similar thing to how, like, the most brutal serial killers, like, barely get any recognition in the media because it's just too crazy and too brutal for people to want to believe it's real. Like, this is just too good meme material to the point where people are like, this cannot be real. I refuse to acknowledge this is real. Like, people don't want to believe it can be this fucking wild.
You must be right, because, like, I kept Googling, like, every time researching this, I kept Googling, I'm like, is that the same John McAfee? You know, every single time. And I was like, yes, it is the same person. Yes, it is that wild. Yes, this did get in the news. But I'm still doubting myself as I'm seeing it before me. It's like, no, that can't be. No, he wouldn't. Oh, he did. Oh, he
Yeah,
did
it's
twice.
just too fucking out there. It's too wild.
It's too much to unpack, you might say.
It is, yeah.
Oh, but we shall try. We shall persist. Anyway, eventually he emerges out of the sandpit, and he starts traveling from place to place with some of his entourage of barely legal girlfriends, who we will get to later. And
He rises out of his sandbox Nosferatu style, carrying his coffins of sand with him on the ship as he travels throughout the world. Much like Nosferatu. I'm not alleging that John McAfee spread any plagues. I'm not
You might as
alleging
well.
that Corona is his fault.
You might be a god. I mean, if he has a freaking hot take about coronavirus, I will throw my computer across the room.
I did briefly look at his Twitter one time.
Oh no! Oh,
that is not a good mind to tell us to be in.
Hang on, it's probably still up. Let me do some quick on-board research.
COVID-19 is a cold weather virus. It's seasonal, like the flu. By the 3rd week of May, it will be mostly gone in the northern hemisphere. I predict countries around the world will claim victory for 4, he writes 4 2 times, this natural occurrence. Just watch. That's a pinned tweet. That's not gonna look good in a few weeks. That's his pinned tweet.
And that's like, oh my god, that is wonderfully on brand. That is just the encapsulation. Like this
Yeah.
throughout his life, he
He's,
does this over and over again. He makes all of these wild claims that have already aged.
To Bill Gates, I will bet you $25,000 that by May 21st, the daily worldwide death rate from CV will be less than 5 deaths per million population. Surely more die from heart attacks while having sex. Will you take this bet?
Oh, you
If
know all
not,
about
shame
that,
on
wouldn't you? McAfee. You've read up quite a lot about that, haven't you, McAfee?
Yeah.
Especially cocaine-related deaths.
Like, all of his recent tweets are about COVID, how it's gonna be gone by
man.
May. This time that is gonna look so bad in a few weeks.
He'll double down like he did with the fucking Michelangelo virus.
Hang
Again,
on.
what is it with this guy and viruses? Like, he's just consistently wrong about viruses, and yet it's his career.
Doesn't anyone fear an alien invasion to break their brothers out from Area 51 is the one not COVID tweet he said in the last 24 hours.
Oh my god. Okay, here's a tweet that answers all of our questions. Someone asked if I made a pact with a devil. Yes, many times. Each of my first 3 marriages are prime examples.
Yeah,
Oh
I
God,
thought
he's an
I mean, for a
ex-wife
minute
thing.
there, I thought he was actually gonna like go through showing his mania again and actually say that he's been in contact with the devil, but it's like, nah, it's just a really weak joke about his ex-marriages. Yeah. Oh well.
He's a boomer after all.
Yeah. So anyway. Oh yeah, anyway, when he goes on, he's officially gone on the run at this point, and that starts up a media circus, and he's never logging off. He's constantly giving interviews, and he's, the media from all over the world is eagerly lapping up all of his crazy millionaire on the run bullshit that he's more than happy to just give them. He compares himself to Julian Assange, and claims to.
Right, okay, sorry. This was the tweet I was looking for. I put on my big circle librarian glasses. Okay. If Corona was a plan, not saying that it is, who wins and who loses? Losers,
Oh fuck! Wait!
the entire Western economy. Winners, Big
Wait!
Pharma, China.
Wait, this is completely indistinguishable from that Q drop about Corona a few weeks ago. Wait, check
Wait,
this,
is
see
it
if I
a
can
Q?
find this.
Oh my god.
No, that's completely here. Here,
Oh my
here.
God, it's
Q has a thing
QAnon.
about Corona being created by the Chinese, and he writes at the end, "Who benefits the most?" It's the same fucking shit.
Oh my god.
It's John McAfee Q. I'm not alleging anything, but
You know what? Out of all the shit that I've read about him, this would be perfect. I'm not even surprised. I won't even be surprised. I'll just be dead inside.
What is this, a crossover episode?
Oh my god. This is breaking me. I'm not even in like the second sentence, and I'm just like, oh, there's too much. Okay, well, anyway, he compares himself to Julian Assange and claims to want to find political asylum somewhere.
Gosh.
Now, not only has that comparison not aged well, it really wasn't applicable for a number of reasons, mainly because they did just want him for questioning, and he's not being done for political reasons. I mean, I guess he is, since apparently he's pissed off the Prime Minister in his mind. But
yeah, John
I digress.
McAfee's murder case is now a free speech issue, and we must free him for the good of free speech everywhere.
Now, I want you to, leave with that comparison there and brace yourself for what comes next.
Ooh, I'm excited.
While on the move, he
Okay.
adopts a series of disguises.
Yes!
Which,
On.
Yes,
which,
yes, yes!
which are as bizarre as they are unconvincing. This is my favourite one. The old man with a cane disguise. Which I want to highlight for a moment because I find it so magical that John, who is at this point 66 years old, he doesn't seem to know what an old man does or looks like. He gets... There's pictures of this, I'm not making this up, like... Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I'll give you a description of what you're looking for. He gets all comically hunched over and has a walking stick and, like a pantomime performer, pretending to have a limp, he sort of... He just sort of shuffles about. He stuffs toilet paper in his mouth to make his cheeks puff out a bit.
Oh, sorry.
And this is stuff he's
Sorry.
admitted
King.
to.
Hunched back, you say? Let's see. Who does that remind me of? A hated rich person? Oh, Richard the fucking Third.
Oh yeah, aside, by the way, that I didn't find out until recently. Again, this is by his own admission, so it's not libel if I say this.
Oh god. Okay, go on.
In his college, one of his first businesses, and this is something he's admitted to, in Renoki College, his first job was as a cocaine dealer. And he says it showed a lot of entrepreneurship at a young age. And
love putting cocaine dealer on my fucking resume. I started my own private business and it showed a lot of entrepreneurship. It was very successful.
That's how he puts it in an interview. And this was... You know what the crazy thing is that this guy is running for president currently. Do you remember when people got like really up in arms about Obama having, having inhaled or not inhaled a joint? And how like we just, America was just transfixed with like, oh my, kind of a president who uses drugs. He just straight up admitted to being a coke dealer.
Kingship.
And does it proudly. And yeah, he's still...
I'll have you know, my client is not a quote-unquote coke dealer. He is actually a freelance entrepreneur chemical merchant.
But it's interesting that drug dealing was really your first foray into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, well, it is it's entrepreneurial. It's everything. It's salesmanship.
Yeah, and another thing I love about his disguise, talking of white powder, he puts loads of white powder in his hair, and it goes all over his face. Make assumptions wherever you like. And, yeah, this convinces nobody. Nobody at all. But I guess
Shocking.
everyone is just too scared of him to tell him that it's unconvincing because he just keeps it up all the time and he thinks it's genius acting. And like my favorite story ever, this is in the documentary that's about him, Gringo. A story from CNN journalist Martin Savdij, I hope I get his name right, who went out to meet him, and he's bundled from cab to cab through the airport, through all of Belize City, using code words to, get to John's location, like a really ridiculous spy novel. It's just, again, it's not convincing. It's like, just being overly cautious, and it's like they just drive to like a shitty hotel, in Belize City. And when they do get to the location, they're greeted with what Martin describes as obviously John McAfee. Just hobbling up these stairs slowly with a twisted arm and a twisted cane, a shawl over his shoulders to protect from the cold that isn't there, and doing his bad old man impression. And Martin knows, everyone knows this. But if anyone says anything, like address him directly as John McAfee, he's going to storm out the interview like he has done in the past, and CNN can kiss their exclusive goodbye. So everyone, clearly being better actors than John McAfee, just pretend they don't recognize him. All the way to his
who's
hotel.
this? Who is this? I've never seen this person.
They don't
before.
even do that. They just ignore him. They don't acknowledge him. They just ignore him. They just go from room to room as if this strange old man with no connection to John McAfee is just following them for no apparent reason. And
Oh, that's so good. I can't believe this. Oh god.
the second they reach John McAfee's hotel, McAfee slams the door behind him. And like that scene in the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie where Willy Wonka does a forward roll after discarding his cane. You know the one I'm talking about? And it's like, you gotta watch it. It's just, he just extravagantly flings off his costume and goes, "Aha! It is I, John McAfee! I fooled you, didn't I?"
Oh god.
And like, yeah. Anyway, he does a lot of interviews like this, for weeks on end.
Like, look, I respect the Willy Wonka like kind of aesthetic and like mannerisms and eccentricities. I mean, that's basically most of my personality. But like, dude, you're a warlord. It's not funny.
He's a software developer.
No,
He's a software developer. He shouldn't be doing any of this.
Alice's personality is the original Willy Wonka. Mine is the really weird, creepy Johnny Depp Willy Wonka from the remake.
Oh my god.
in this podcast there are two Willy Wonkas.
They're fighting.
One always tells the truth, one always lies. To get out of here, you have to figure out which one. You can only ask one question.
Oh my god.
So ask a question, interviewer.
Well, there's one question that they ask, which is great. When asked about why he was in constant contact with the press while trying to obscure his location, kind of counterproductive to like running away from what he claims is death squads. Just constantly talking with the press.
Well, John McAfee does know a thing or two about Death Squad, so I'm not gonna distrust him on that.
Oh yeah, that's true. He would know.
Yeah, he would know.
I mean, he, in answer to them, he rationalizes this behavior by saying, "As long as the world is paying attention, they couldn't shoot me in the street."
Oh, nice.
But this ultimately backfired on him when Vice was following him in a documentary called On the Run with John McAfee. In a blog post entitled "We Are with John McAfee Right Now, Suckers," to promote their
Wait,
film.
it wasn't really titled that. Please tell me.
It was real. It's
Oh
now
my
since been
God.
deleted, but it's now been archived and saved. It's like, this is what
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
actually titled. And it gets better. It was to promote this film of On the Run with John McAfee. Vice staff posted a picture of McAfee and his interviewer that revealed his location in the metadata of the photo via the GPS tags on the cell phone.
Yes. This is the biggest fucking own since BTK got himself arrested by giving the police a floppy disk that could be traced. It's the biggest fucking cell phone since that.
It's not even a cell phone because it's fucking Vice that did it. Like, it wasn't even John McAfee's fault for once. Like, he's
For
actually...
once, yeah.
They actually...
Well, it was his fault for letting them do this in the first place.
I mean, it ultimately is his fault, but it's still, he was getting away with it because the press kept protecting him because it was an endless stream of content for them. And, there was this idea, well, what if he isn't? I mean, we don't know. Maybe he is on the run from death squads,
Sure.
I'm checking
Maybe.
Belize death squads so to see if it's like true. And the fifth article is a John McAfee one, so like you can't actually trust it.
I think John's a very
Yes.
trustworthy source.
Like, anyway, I digress.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Go on, King. Go on.
Having completely blown McAfee's cover with this colossal fuck up, Vice photographer Robert Kin tried to cover his and McAfee's arse on his Facebook page and Twitter. Like McAfee at the time, he claimed that the geodata in the photo had been manipulated to conceal their true location.
Oh, real James Bond shit.
This story fell apart instantly because, well, why would they say that if it was fake? Like, immediately after it.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he'd had since deleted the post because it was a lie. However, because of this, Vice managed to capture McAfee's arrest in Guatemala and managed to salvage a scoop out of screwing over their they just, and there's this video. The video is still up of John McAfee getting arrested outside a Guatemalan restaurant and just arrested by Guatemalan immigration for illegally entering the country. The documentary from Vice that they plan to release of following him around has sadly not been fully released to this day. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because they're embarrassed by their screw up, or maybe John McAfee isn't letting them. I have no idea. But it's a shame because they put the teaser up, and my god, I want to see the rest of that footage. In the teaser, there's a scene of him at a restaurant, and the waitress gives him a receipt. And when she's about to leave, he makes a point of directly stating to her, pulling her aside, and saying, "It's Paul." Like his name is Paul.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's making a point of giving her a fake name, which she didn't even ask for, and she clearly doesn't get paid enough because she just shrugs it off as a normal thing to say to a random waitress and replies, "Nice to meet you too, Paul." And he just watches her walk away. This guy is smooth as fuck. Anyway, he's arrested in Guatemala for coming to the country illegally, and things are looking pretty bleak for him. He's going to be deported back to Belize for questioning, which he claims is to his death. And there's not enough time for his lawyer to file an appeal. And then John McAfee collapses.
Oh no!
He starts breathing heavily and appears to lose consciousness. He's
No!
rushed to hospital
King,
with,
no!
with a suspected heart attack.
No, King! No.
But
And he regenerates as Jodie Whittaker.
Oh, he
Yeah, we
seems
need to-
He does see, because the strangest thing is, when he gets bundled with loads of press into the back of an ambulance, he clearly states to his attendants, who are trying to resuscitate him, "Don't undress me in front of the cameras." He's
Oh,
conscious. That's right, folks. Again, this isn't libel because he admitted to it himself. John McAfee fakes a heart attack to avoid deportation.
No, I don't believe he faked it. I just believed even in those moments where he was in intense pain, he was thinking about the public decency and the public good.
It is, because if there's one thing that John McAfee is about, it's public decency.
Absolutely. I think the witchcraft sex parties from the first episode really show that.
Yeah, but this is from the horse's mouth, though. He said it quite, he even brags about it, said, "Yeah, I faked a heart attack so that my lawyer could..." Yeah, he's admitted this dozens of times. This is what I'm saying. You have to, I have to get clips of this so that you will believe me. This is what he has said on camera.
Miraculously, McAfee opened his eyes and asked the nurses not to undress him in front of the cameras.
You faked the heart attack.
Sure, I faked it. What would you have done?
Oh,
He
so
faked
good.
a heart attack so that his lawyer could have time to file an appeal, and of course he does. It's like the deadline for him being deported is extended, and at this point Guatemala's just done with him. It's like, Jesus, we could hold him for 2 years while this appeal fucking processes, or we could just deport him to America, which he's also, a citizen of, and that's what they decide to do. They don't want to hold him any longer, so he gets deported back to America, and he is consequence-free.
McAfee outfoxed Belize again.
He did it. He pulled it off.
He pulled it off. Or did he? Because I have some breaking news, folks. He is currently on the run from the US government as we speak.
Oh
Wait,
my
no,
fucking
what?
god.
What? No, what?
No, it's true. I mean, I won't get into it too details because of again, I'm just
No, you need to get into some details. You can't just drop that on us and leave.
Good night, everybody.
Oh!
I mean, Alex, that's almost as bad a time as they dropped, oh yeah, I've worked for the Freemasons.
Yeah,
Well,
you're definitely gonna need to give us some of the details on John
Alright,
McAfee
well,
being on the run from the US government.
Well, according to... Okay, this is according to John McAfee, okay? He,
Again,
who is
very
described
believable,
as a cybersecurity pioneer by The Independent,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he fears for his life when he's on the run, claiming that the US government is out to get him. Said he has issues with US Securities and Exchange Commission has forced him into hiding, and he claims that the reason for doing that, he's been oh geez, he says we are in a 5-vehicle motorcade. Where all vehicles driven by ex-military special forces are and filled to the brim with heavily armed security personnel. I purposefully and publicly committed a felony this morning to call the SEC out in the videos that he made. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not taking any more shit from corrupt to the core government agencies.
Wait, what did
So-
what did he do? What was the felony he did?
Well, he says it's because he's heavily invested in cryptocurrencies, but I think it's more likely that it's because he hasn't paid tax for 8 years. I'm just getting a wild guess that it might not be to do with cryptocurrency. It might be. I mean, I don't know.
I
much
feel
about
like
tech.
taking his word for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that, the reason why they're out together, why he's currently making, why in 2019 he made his 2020, bid for president on a boat away from the jurisdiction. Like,
Oh,
again,
he's
I'm
so
not making this
good.
shit.
He's so
Like, this
good.
fucker. Oh, Jesus. Just the fucking quotes. Like, he doesn't even mention this. Like, yeah, it's because you didn't pay your fucking tax, McAfee. That's why they're after you. And now he's on the run again. Yeah, and it's like the SEC was never intended to have this power. Please, God, America, wake up and see what has happened, Mr. McAfee said. The SEC is in charge of our entire industry, our companies, our manufacturing, our distribution, our creativity, our entrepreneurship. When it was
Yeah,
created.
this peak libertarianism, honestly.
This is why he came second, I think, in 2016 in the
Oh,
Libertarian,
He
party
deserved
bit.
better, to be honest. He would have been so
Yeah.
much more fun to have on the ballot than fucking Gary Johnson.
Yeah, and then we could have, like, I mean, in 2020, like, we could have, like, free rapists running for
Yeah.
office, which it would be, I think that's a record. I think, like, free.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, I would so much rather have had John McAfee than Gary Johnson. Gary, the fucking beta cuck who's like, oh, I believe we need driver's licenses for people to drive. I don't think people should get
fucking
killed in
wuss.
car accidents. Fucking wuss, fucking beta. John Chad McAfee on international waters killing people. That's fucking Chad shit. He's the fucking Chad of the Libertarian Party.
Just picture doing a line of coke off one of his teenage girlfriends as he just fires an AK-40 into the go. No taxes.
Like, oh my fucking god. Okay, like, just gonna say it. Rapists are bad.
Yeah.
we're just
What?
we're
Really?
just
I'm shocked.
we're gonna just put that out there. 'Cause
Our controversial take of the day.
This is like, oh Jesus.
I got plenty more hot takes. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
What's next? Murder is bad?
So Alex, are you finished with McAfee?
Oh no.
Hell
I'll
yeah,
never be
go
finished
on,
with
go off.
McAfee. I will never be finished with McAfee. McAfee never ends. It's a never-ending nightmare that we're all in, Alice.
I
There
know.
is so much I haven't covered. I have such sights to show you.
Okay.
I will leave with I'm not even gonna cover in depth like his antics in America or but I will mention a few things that I call miscellaneous McAfee. Okay, this is something, again, just two things that I think are worth noting in his debacle about his time in the jungle, where it surfaced in Gizmodo, of all places, that John McAfee goes by the online username of Stuffmonger and is found as a popular poster on the drug-focused message board Blue Light.
Yes, King.
Yeah, and he details in quite a lot of he goes into a lot of detail in these posts, and it's some of the most popular posts of synthesizing the drug known as bath salts. And, including
gosh.
posting pictures of, you guessed it, his lab in the jungle, where he was accused of synthesizing drugs. So now, the raid on his lab and his house makes a little more sense.
He's fucking real life Heisenberg, honestly, but like
Fucking
1,000 times messier.
Yeah, and it's like I don't even think he was able to do it. Like you said, they didn't find anything, so my theory that he failed to make drugs might actually be true.
Well, we gotta fail before you succeed, every failure is just a stepping stone to success. That's the John McAfee motto.
I absolutely, you know what I love as well, the best thing about this, because like afterwards, after this stuff came out, on John McAfee's website, he answers the questions over whether he, aka John Stuffmonger.
No, address him by his proper title. Warlord John McAfee, CEO of John McAfee. Sorry, former CEO of John
CEO
McAfee.
of John McAfee. Yes.
And Stuffmonger of the blue mushrooms. Look, like
Blue
he's
light.
just like, so like what makes the Heisenberg a like really good, interesting, compelling character that we want to root for and push on, and like the whole reason we're watching for it is because the man is suffering. He has got big capital C cancer, and like his pride's on the line and stuff, and it's like okay, I get that. That's real shit. That's real shit. It's like, and then like, whole Breaking Bad happens. And then, but nah, like John McAfee, it's so.
I mean, John did have a heart attack. We can't discount that.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, he had
God.
such like a hard time in the jungle. Like everyone's just out to get him all the time.
Yeah,
For
someone
no, just 'cause
poisoned
he's
his fucking
rich.
dogs for no reason. For absolutely no reason.
He's like, and everyone's just criticizing him for having girlfriends who are 17 and running away from abusive households who he rescued.
Yeah.
For no ulterior motive.
Yeah, he's just a good guy.
He's a
He's
good
just
man.
collecting a harem for a humanitarian reason.
I mean, I've actually, and I've posted in the chat his blog post on Stuffmonger, and he claims that yes, I am indeed Stuffmonger. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, I am. I'm Stuffmonger. But I only did it because of a bet.
Oh, God.
It was all a joke. Just
I
kidding, boys.
am indeed that same stuffmonger. I, however, do not do drugs, and I am no chemist. I
It
am,
is I,
however,
John McAfee! I fooled you again!
I am, however, a practical joker who does not mind investing months in a given joking
This is stuff
enterprise.
he wrote
It was a
himself!
social experiment. It was a prank, bro.
It's stuff he wrote himself. I'm having an aneurysm.
I'm looking at his blog post of my life in Belize, and he's got a picture of 3 women, just walking. They have like white hair, I think, and they're just walking. And the tagline above it is, "Their manner of dress is most modest." What the fuck are you, John McAfee? Are you some like Are you some renegade immortal lich from like the 1700s? Are you Leclerc? Are you Leclerc? I knew it. I knew fucking Leclerc was back at it. I didn't die. He didn't die. He just came back as fucking John McAfee. In this essay, I will.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of his harem, because again, miscellaneous McAfee. And I wanted to end with this because, again, there's a lot of other stuff which I haven't even covered, but I think it's important to end with this because it was just like one of those jaw-dropping moments. Like I mentioned before, like he did actually have what he described as a harem, and it was mostly girls, sometimes underage, sometimes, well, technically of age, like barely legal girlfriends, I would say. Like I'm not sure what the age of consent is in Belize, but they were young girls. Okay, and they were.
Can I just take 1 second before you continue?
Yeah,
If you scroll far enough on his site, if you click on next enough, you get to this like site that looks like it was created in the fucking 90s before anyone knew what graphic design was. It looks horrible.
Oh my god, is this the website? Is this it? I thought it was loading still. What? Is this it? Is this it?
Yeah.
This is it?
Yeah, that's the website.
Oh, Jesus
It's
Christ.
beautiful.
This man is a software developer. There is no excuse for this. There is no excuse.
No.
Well, I was just waiting for like.
This article was written in 2012.
Oh my god.
It looked like that back then.
Oh dear Lord in heaven. Sweet Jesus. Like this is inexcusable. I mean, he's also like, this is the article where he shits on his former friend Josh Davis. This is me about to disclose the corruption. The last photo Josh and I took together, and they look like they're laughing at salad. And he's clutching his cock. Like, very obviously.
Love
Real
laughing
king
at
shit.
salad while grabbing.
There, he's just looking.
I love how Josh is just looking confusion. Like,
That's-
they were about to have like a normal picture, like a very normal picture, like, oh hey, yeah, we're gonna slap my little camera and like tell like a joke or something, and John McAfee grabs his like hardware kit and then just and then Josh is like, what the fuck?
Alright, anyway, sorry, what we're gonna say about the harem, Alex?
Oh my god. This just. Well, anyway, I might as well end with this bit of the story. I may talk about John McAfee later because, again, there's so much. Like, he's still constantly on the run. There's also footage of him getting picked up by police and just confessing his life story while obviously high as fuck.
Oh,
Like,
king.
But we don't even have time for that shit. But I will say one thing that I learned from the documentary. That was more kind of a jaw-dropping moment, which again is kind of awful because he builds himself as this, renegade, and people do see him as that. He's like a, eccentric, king shit. And we've been saying king shit all this time, but he really, in truth, he isn't. He really isn't a king. Like he is taking.
I mean,
typically
the
taking advantage-
standards for being a king are pretty low. Like, Henry
That's
VIII
true.
was a king, he wasn't exactly a great person, I mean,
yeah, but at least he kind of earned it by being born into it. John McAfee doesn't even have that. Like, there's no reason for him to be.
Mumford
made it
and
all
Sons
himself.
Broken Crown plays in the distance.
It's like, yeah, he basically like is took advantage of a lot of very young women who, from abusive home situations, just wanted a place to stay, and saw it with John McAfee, just kind of, again, it's not, that's not the worst thing he's done comparatively, I guess, but it is still kind of icky and gross. Just what he does, just building this essentially a harem of women who are almost completely dependent on him.
I want the musical Six, but about John McAfee's girlfriend instead of Henry VIII's wives.
Exactly. I don't know, because it might have to involve a particular sex act that he got most of them to do, which I'm going to end with. This is like this is the closer that John McAfee deserves.
Yes.
And I will get the bit of I will try and find you the bit of footage of like corroborating like multiple girlfriends of his saying that he got them to do this one specific thing for him.
All right.
He made them sit in a hammock. He cut a hole in the hammock
Oh no.
in the bottom area.
Oh no.
He puts his mouth over the hole in the hammock, and
Oh,
he
no.
got them to shit directly in
What?
his mouth.
What? Dude, that's not where I thought this was going. What?
John McAfee, everybody!
Oh my god!
Woo! John McAfee somehow manages to somehow make this story more fucked up than it needs to be.
That's not. I don't want to kink shame. I don't want to kink shame John McAfee,
you know what?
but
Don't get me wrong.
also.
Don't get me wrong. The kink is not the problem. The fact that he got to do it in multiple times with like his underage, sexually coerced girlfriends.
On
It's
one
very
hand,
specific shit.
yeah,
Literal.
specific shit, literally, yeah. On one hand, I don't want to kink shame him. On the other, this does grant some credence to my Marquis de Sade comparison. I mean,
Exactly!
this is right out of Salo. This is right out of Salo.
I needed to mention this just for that specifically, because when
Yeah.
you said that, I was like, you don't even know.
Oh god. Salo really was a documentary, huh? And it was about John McAfee.
Okay.
So we're done with John McAfee, yeah?
I don't know where I can go from this, to be honest. That's like...
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Alex, for that incredible story. Now, Alex, you wanna follow up on that train wreck?
Okay. First of all, library glasses. Put the fuck on. Pipe with bubbles coming out. Fucking puffing it. Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm just sorting these glasses out. Just give me a moment. Like, it's not even a visual thing. I just want to be, like, nice and studious because...
You want to be nice with it, yeah.
I don't even need to wear glasses IRL. I just got these today and I just want to wear them.
Oh, so you're a fake nerd, yeah.
Well, I did used to need glasses, so technically not.
Oh.
So... I've been dying to tell you about Linda Bellos. Can we talk about Linda Bellos? Can we please talk about Linda Bellos?
We need to talk about Linda Bellos.
Okay.
Linda Bellos, Linda Bellos, Linda Bellos, Linda Bellos, Linda Bellos, Linda Bellos.
Linda Bellos. Okay, so Linda Bellos is a socialist black feminist who was active in the 1980s, who has a history of bad takes and fire crimes, but sometimes she did good.
Wait, did you say fire crimes?
Yeah, you can't drop that without expanding on it. What's up with the fire crimes?
Okay. Did Linda Bellos have girl power?
I guess, yeah, I guess she did.
Yeah.
Did she have it
sure.
when she burnt down a local magazine shop for selling porno mags?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say.
I love
know
expressing my girl power through literally burning buildings.
Right,
I love doing
okay.
arson to express my girl power.
Okay.
I think that's written in Simone de Beauvoir's Second Sex. That arson is actually okay.
Mm.
I only half read it. I didn't really pay attention.
So it's something that we need to get right. So Linda Bellos comes from that peculiar strain of feminism that thinks sex is inherently misogynistic and bad.
Oh no.
Which is wrong because I'm a woman and I like having the sex. And I'm very empowered.
I am shocked at such harlotry.
Alex, what the
Get
frick?
thee to a nunnery.
Shut up, Hamlet. Okay, right. So basically, she comes from a movement called political lesbianism, which isn't inherently about how sex is bad and stuff, but it argues for separation of the sexes. Basically, you should advocate for a society where it's only women.
It's just that one episode of Fairly Odd Parents with the wall dividing the planet, but like as a political ideology.
Yes. Now, you might think, oh, so does this include trans women? No. Because Linda Bellos is also part of the hashtag RadFem, trans exclusionary radical feminists.
She's a TERF, and we're not supposed to say that because it's a slur.
Yeah.
Much like Karen and cis, it's a slur.
Yeah. So those are like things that we will get into later on. We've got a lot of things. So a lot of this information comes from a documentary called Lefties. Angry Woman.
Women or womanx. The many different spellings of woman.
Right. So the documentary has this very weird spelling of the word women.
I never understood why they do that.
It's to remove the man bit, I think. 'Cause Matt and
Okay.
Ralph-
Okay. So, Linda Bellos, who is a socialist and also member of the British Empire, you know, that very socialist organization, the British Empire.
Of course.
Very socialist. But Linda Bellos, I'm spilling the tea on her because,
Spill the tea, sis.
yes. So, not only has she possibly committed arson. In this documentary,
Allegedly satire parody.
I mean, I don't think there is a possibly anymore, Alice.
yeah, because we in this documentary, Lefties, a recent departure of Twitter, rest queen, Julie Bindel, confirmed that they used to put cement in the loos as a protest in these magazine shops or sex workshops or like anywhere that had like sex and stuff. They would gather around in these groups and read pornography as a theory.
Sure,
Okay.
they did.
Very normal.
Sure.
Yeah, Mom,
they
you're
had-
walking into my room, seeing me on the computer, watching questionable things, and me just
I
going,
did-
I'm doing
I
theory.
did it
I'm
for
reading-
theory.
I'm reading theory.
Don't come in. Don't come in.
This
I'm
is
doing it for
research
ideology.
purposes.
Mom, don't! I'm watching theory.
Yeah.
Porn's the theory, rape's the practice. That was literally a slogan they had. I'm not kidding.
Oh no. You heard it here first, folks. Rape is practice.
Yeah, this documentary, it rules. I met one of the interviewers in it. But I'll save that bit for the end.
Okay.
Sure.
So okay, we got some questionable direct action kind of things going on here. But this is where it goes from being, kind of like, all cops are bastards and, yay, anarchy and stuff like that. To like, yeah, we're gonna beat up a man because he's supporting feminism.
I'm sorry, what now? You're gonna need to expand on that one.
Okay, so, in Leeds, there was a man who wrote a graffiti sign in support of feminism.
Sure.
At the time, there was like this killer around, like taking women off the streets and killing them. It was like a whole thing, and I honestly, just for the sake of brevity,
Yeah,
We're not
we
gonna
won't
get-
get into that just now.
we won't get into it. But basically, this man was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna write a message in support of feminism," and he done that, and then Linda Bellos and pals just decided, you know what? We're gonna hunt this person down. It's like we're gonna beat him up
And why? What was the motivation? Did they
because
think
he's
this was the
stealing
killer?
our
or-
voice.
Oh, he's not being a good enough ally.
Kill him.
Yeah. So they do some scouting, do some reconnaissance on this man, and this man turns out he has a family.
Probably just a cover for his misogyny. Just using the woman as his misogyny beard.
He is spared because he has children.
Wait, what were they gonna do if he didn't have children?
They
Yeah.
would've- Well, they wouldn't be telling that story.
Right. I think we should probably, like, before we continue bashing Linda Bellos, we need to, maybe mention some of the good things she did, because I don't want this just to be another hate piece on Linda Bellos, because I'm sure she'll send her like, goons after me or something.
She might burn down your house. You gotta be careful.
So, important things that she done. She raised awareness of Black or people of color voices in feminist and socialist spaces. Helped raise awareness of Black history. Now, there was a thing where she claimed she made Black history. But,
Oh
like,
no.
It's like she was doing like some history stuff with like can't remember what group it was, but basically she was doing this this thing like to raise awareness of like historical Black people in
Yeah.
Britain, which is was like a whole movement, and it's cool. And again, I can't criticize her for this because I'm basically doing a similar thing with queer voices. As I've mentioned before, I'm a queer archivist, so you know. Except I don't go around telling people I made Black History Month.
Yeah, didn't she also say that she inherited like the mantle of Black History Month?
Yeah,
It was her.
yeah, like
Queen.
If you just imagine if you said that about your job, it's like I have inherited the mantle of queer history. Like,
yeah.
figured absolutely
It's
mad,
like-
you know?
So, one last good thing: anti-capitalist, also anti-government. Even though she was in the government, it's very confusing. So, we'll get back to the more interesting parts of Linda Bellos. So, on August 29th, 2019, Linda Bellos wrote Linda Bellos. This is in reference to the Ed Balls tweet, which, fun fact, that tweet was made a day late and is also like a year today on the recording.
Wait,
of
is the
this
Ed Bolts
podcast.
tweet a year from
Yeah.
a year
No,
today?
no, the Linda Bellos.
Oh,
one.
we
Yeah,
missed
it
we
was
missed Ed
supposed-
Bolts anniversary.
And so did Linda Bellos. She missed Ed
Yeah.
Bull's Day by a day. Thus,
Fuck, we really missed it by a day, huh? Fuck,
I
it was the
know.
9-year anniversary yesterday. We missed it.
Damn you, quarantine!
Yeah. Well, happy Linda fucking Bellos Day, I guess. What a
Yeah,
consolation
yeah,
prize.
this is Linda Bellos Day.
Yeah, if you didn't remember
Happy-
Ed Bolts Day, the consolation prize is, hey, at least you remember fucking Linda Bellos Day.
29th
Yeah, okay.
of April.
So now we'll get back to the really questionable shit she's done. She left her husband and children for political reasons.
Oh, Glove Queen. It's a classic part of every hero's journey. You gotta leave the home, the safety of home behind, those you love behind to protect them. Because you have to do something more important than yourself, aka political lesbianism politics.
Yeah. So like I just want to mention something about this, right? She feels very upset about this. Like she feels like it was a traumatic experience and that she was forced into doing it. But I had a conversation with Alex about this, and we'll find out that she kind of has a patchwork kind of truth.
Yeah, she's not a she's not really a reliable source. She kind of changes her story in a tweet in defense of her arson, which she admits to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
Yeah.
to unpack in this one tweet.
So, Kirsty. So, sidebar. Gotta love Linda Bellos, who was involved with the kind of feminism that was torching sex shops 40 years ago and alluded to being an active participant in such activity. Suddenly acting all proper, as if we should be nice to her for her hateful ass views. Linda Bellos. We did impact assessments to ensure that no lives were lost or people hurt, but no doubt does that matter. You have nothing negative to say about losing my children because I was a lesbian or racism
Peace.
of being singled out by you lot.
She just confessed to arson.
Just
And-
confessed to arson there.
I mean, she did impact assessments. Why are you getting upset? First of all, can I just say that you know what, I'm going to drop the pretense. There are no impact assessments for ethical arson. There isn't. There's no such thing as ethical arson. I'm just putting that out right there. That's like,
Yeah, this is fucking beta arson. You fucking do impact assessment. You don't just go in and kill someone. Honestly, fucking beta shit.
So yeah. Now you might be wondering, what these hateful lesbians are. Is it her hating men? No. I mean, technically, yes, if you look at it from a transphobic perspective. That's right, Linda Bellos is a transphobe.
What? I didn't see this one
Yes.
coming.
Hang on.
Well, I could forgive the arson, but the transphobia.
Yeah, it's just one step too far, honestly.
Yeah. Hang on. There was a I had like a transcript of a quote that she said about like trans people. Let me get this. Now, context for people listening. I might not sound it, but I am a trans woman. So this is the perspective I'm coming from. The full quote reads as follows: "It seems to me politically what they're seeking to do is piss on all women. That's all they're doing for their own personal gratification. There aren't many of them, but what does really offend me is the extent in which academia and political parties have listened to them in a way that they're not listening to us as women." Now, bearing in mind, this was in reference to
pissing on all women for personal gratification sounds like a fetish thing. Is Linda all right?
Yes.
It's
yes.
like, is this a John McAfee thing? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
We got pee-pee and poo-poo now. We got the holy trinity. Twinity?
Nailed it.
Definitely.
But no, this was in reference to so the Labour Party. Okay, so the Labour Party had this whole like TERF exodus thing in I think what was it, Alex? Was it like 2017?
yeah,
18?
I think it was 2017, and it's
Was
still
it?
it's still going. It's still going. It's like,
yeah, I feel like I definitely remember that being a thing that happened a few years back at
yeah,
least.
it all started because of like the whole Lily thing. You know, that that trans
Yeah.
woman that was like women's officer for a bit, or like put up for it.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, this trans woman appeared in a photo beside Jeremy Corbyn, which was seen by TERFs as an endorsement of gender ideology, pure ideology.
Pure ideology, pure gender ideology.
Yes. So we're dealing with this. So the TERFs claimed that 300 people left the Labour Party, and I'm sorry to
questionable figures.
This is
questionable
it's like
figures.
the 300 who stood against the Persians in Thermopolis, but with 300 Turks in the fucking Labor Party.
Instead of like this, like this this small crevice, it's just one bathroom.
Yeah,
they're all jammed into.
yeah, just one bathroom. Yeah.
So one of the people in this thing was Linda Bellos. She made some comments saying that she would hang on. What was the exact quote
She would thump,
Yeah, she will thump a trans woman. This was in reference to an encounter that she had in Hyde Park. I can't get the name of the trans woman. And to be honest, that trans woman is probably in a lot more danger than Linda Bellos.
Probably, yeah. Almost certainly, actually.
The whole drama was, a TERF was filming a bunch of trans activists in, just a support of trans people in general in Hyde Park. And someone, not a trans woman, I think someone just snatched the phone because they're filming people to harass them essentially. And there's video of them doing this and snatching a phone, just yeeting the phone to the ground and stepping on it so the TERFs don't get to film people to harass them. And then another TERF puts one of the trans people allegedly assaulting them. Again, you're not really seeing this. Just getting rid of the phone was like an assault, just in a freaking arm lock, and carrying them out. It's obvious that they were the aggressors, and it's on
Sure.
paper. But yeah, it was still this whole drama, and they still like ruled in favor of like the TERFs because they're nice little old ladies who've done no wrong, you know. So yeah, that was the whole. Yeah, that was part of the drama.
Now, the Labour Party being a socialist party takes, like, when MPs say verbal threats to minority groups publicly, it takes it very seriously, especially in light of the recent anti-Semitic allegations in the Labour Party.
Although,
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
a whole nother thing with the Labour Party and Corbyn that we don't have time to get into, but
yeah,
they did my man dirty. That's
I
what I'm gonna say. They did my man dirty.
I will say this about it is that she was so, you know, open and embarrassing that they had to act. Like normally I think the Labour Party, from what we know now, they would have slept on that. But with Linda, she just did it very openly and horrifically, and also just confesses to arson on Twitter. So
Queen.
yeah, I mean, I don't think they did it because, you know, they were so morally you know, engaged. I think it was just like, yeah, this is an embarrassment we have to deal with.
yes.
Fair.
So, like, you know, threatening to, like, attack trans women in particular, like, that's, you know, really fucking yikes, especially if you're a socialist. Okay, just side note, as a queer historian, I'm going to tell you that both the left and the right are kind of not on great terms with the LGBT community generally within history. Although the Labour Party in Britain, specifically the Labour Party in Britain, specifically the more trade unionist side, was like very pro LGBT, or at least like there was a faction within that faction that was openly LGBT because they legalized the age of consent to be the same.
Because it was like for gay couples it was like, you know, 18, I think, and it was 16 for heterosexual sex.
Yeah.
So,
That's fucked
I know.
up.
No, not anymore though. We're
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it, gang. We did it. Alphabet Mafia.
Alphabet Mafia gang, rise up. Okay,
Hell yeah.
so now we get to the very recent one. Linda Bellos showed up to an anti-trans rally. That was a Trump rally.
Of
Yeah, I
course,
love being such a good feminist leftist that I showed up to Trump rallies.
Yeah. She went to the Supreme Court and is caught on camera speaking with all these MAGA chubs. Yeah, it's for backing Trump's decision to make it legal to fire LGBT people.
Now, I haven't written down like this part because I wasn't expecting to get to this part. Mostly because I thought John McAfee's hitmen would show up by now, and also
John McAfee's still out chasing that trail of bath salts. We put a lot of LSD in
It
his
was
drink.
a long way. I did
Yeah.
sprinkle them quite a long way. So
So one of her friends is Julie Bindel.
Is she she's not the lady who did the Karen is a slur thing, right?
Oh, she is the very same.
Oh,
very
hell
same.
yeah, queen.
So yes, Karen is a slur, TM. So
Can't believe you just said that word. Wow.
what? Karen. Karen.
K word.
stop
Karen,
saying
Karen,
the
Karen.
K slur. You know what the crazy thing is about
Alex, shut up, you
Yeah.
Karen.
Oh,
Fuck, can't believe you've done this.
ow.
But no, so the original tweet that Julie Bindel like made was like something along the lines of, "Oh, Karen is a white middle like classist slur or something."
No, she doesn't say that it was like a white middle class slur. She specifically said like it's a misogynistic and classist slur.
Yeah, like
She
I
didn't
don't know.
specify that it was middle class because that would have just sounded dumb. So she said classist and
Look, I'm
misogynist.
just a dummy thick
Karen is a
archivist.
woman who stands up for herself, who is not willing to take harassment. And you're just doing violence by saying these slurs against her.
Shut up, Karen.
Fuck, can't believe you've done this.
But Alice, Linda
Yes.
Bellos is both gay and black. Surely she cannot be bigoted in any way. And you are indeed, and it is you who is the racist for saying these things.
Oh,
and
fucking
criticizing,
checkmate.
Yeah.
and criticizing the company that she keeps.
Yes. You see, the company that she keeps, also in the documentary I got most of my information from. So there was this organization called Spare Rib, which was a feminist journal kind of thing. You know, leftists seem to have this idea that if they make a newspaper, it'll solve all the world's problems. I don't quite understand the logic as a dyslexic person, but
I don't know. I think we, by making a podcast, are solving all the world's problem personally. So I
Yes,
understand the logic.
we are definitely solving world hunger. We are solving poverty. We are doing all the shit.
Yeah, there's no need to do direct action or to do charities or anything like that. Just listen to podcasts and
all
you're
you
doing
need
access.
all you need is the parasocial relationships and just unhealthily tying your entire well-being to our personalities. That's what will do it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, so Alex, you have more experience with Bindle. So I want you to talk a little bit about
Bindle and Spare Rib and all that. I mean, Bindle is, well, like I said, she is a Karen, and that's why she objects to calling people Karen. She writes like the same article for The Spectator over and over again, and no one seems to have noticed. Like, she's written 2 separate articles for these rag newspapers about how, ironically, she's a political lesbian, but she hates bi women, and like,
oh, she's one of those, huh?
Yeah, she's not technically a lesbian.
I'm sorry,
she's
what's that?
Politically a lesbian. I mean,
wait, can you explain that one to me?
Right, okay. So remember at the beginning of this, we prefaced that there was a movement to separate women from men politically. And this was called political lesbianism. This was a political movement where you took the label of lesbian, but that doesn't
she's not actually even gay.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
she's fucking stealing lesbian valor. How can we let her get away with this?
She is. I mean, there's like a whole article. I got called out. I got told that I was committing libel on Twitter for pointing out the things that she said for saying that she's not a real lesbian. But she's like she came to terms with her political sexuality. Like, she identifies as a lesbian to own the libs, essentially.
Oh my god, that's so
I mean, if she didn't, it was so that she could, fall in with the Radfen crowd even harder, and she did. And like,
nice.
I don't know if she didn't fall in that ideology, she might still be a lesbian or not. But she always is a political lesbian with a capital P.
I want to also point something out within the documentary of Lefties.
Yeah.
There is a lot of what the fuck?
That's why it's great. I love Lefties. I highly recommend the documentary. It's just terrible people telling on themselves for a whole hour. It's magical.
Oh, that sounds great. I gotta see it.
So there were some women touching other women without asking to see if they were lesbians. But so they could prove that they were better political lesbians by being actual lesbians, rather than like. It's so confusing. Like,
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in political lesbian circles.
Look, I am an autistic, pansexual, trans woman. I know what it's like to be invalidated for your sexuality. I know what it's like to be invalidated for your, just being, really, like, and having everything doubted and stuff like that. That's for me, that's like bread and butter. But I would never do that.
Yeah, don't touch people without their consent to,
for
woke points, Well, don't do that at all. Don't do it for woke points. Don't do it for all.
Consent is mandatory.
Also, don't leave your children for that, like Linda.
Yes. So
Down to our son also while we're at it.
yeah, like I know it sounds cool and stuff, but it's really not.
It does sound very, very cool, but I'm resisting the temptation.
So we'll just continue back onto Spare Rib. So Spare Rib is so it was a feminist organization and stuff, and yada yada yada. They wrote articles about feminism. It was mostly white middle class feminists, and they would go on trips to other places. And Linda Bellos was also there, but apparently caused like a rift in it.
She was the
in-
only black woman there. Like, there's even pictures like she's the only black woman in the whole office.
Interestingly, in a brief moment of footage in the documentary, you can see Linda Bellos in the room wearing the trans pride colors.
Huh. An accident, presumably, or was she like doing
Yeah,
a joke?
Or were we transing her back then? Did we travel back in time and just trans her?
I don't think so. So basically, we're going to like just skip ahead to like a probably really heinous thing that Linda Bellos and her company, like the friends she keeps, done. So there was some disability protesters, like feminist disability protesters, and they were asking for a ramp so they could get in to read the books and the literature. So, like, how would you like feel that is, like a demand?
It sounds reasonable enough. I mean,
Yeah,
right?
well, it's just a bourgeois like, concern.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because they've shown how far stuck up their own arse they are, because they're using terms like bourgeois to describe people with disabilities. Um,
Hell yeah.
and basically there was like, I can't remember which one. It might have been Bindle or it might have been one of the other ones.
I think it might have been one of the other ones, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
might have been
sure.
one.
Yeah.
Might have been
Yeah,
one.
like she was the editor at the time. Yeah, of Spare Rib.
It's
Yeah.
one of the member of the Karen minds.
Yeah. So and she was like, just glare at you, looking threatening.
They're
Like,
in wheelchairs. They just want to get inside. Like, they're not. That's. Why are you so threatened?
so I'm going to end this on an anecdote. In 2018, I was invited to the LGBT Archival Conference in London. I arrived late. It was good. I was there to do a workshop on oral history in just like preserving personhood in oral history. So this is just like basically just trying to like tell like some historians who are like really good and really inclusive to LGBT people and stuff like that, that please preserve like the personhood, their emotions, and like ease them into giving the information to you. Don't like painfully extract it from them. Like, if like a source of the history thing is like crying at this, and if it's like a traumatic thing, don't force them to like blurt it out, stuff like
What
that.
what you want to do is you want to stand up, you want to slam the table, say 28 stab wounds.
Yeah,
That's how you get the details.
yeah. For those of you at home, Lee, our host, has been playing Detroit Become Human.
My brain has been poisoned by David Cage. I can only think in Detroit Become Human now.
Yeah. So like that's a whole thing.
That's a whole other thing. We really don't
even have time to
have time to unpack that.
So anyway, I ended up talking to like a lot of people in this conference. I was tired, a little bit sleep deprived, and just like, whoa, okay. It's like I meet this woman. I forget her name. Maybe it was Vistra or something.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah, cool name. And she said, "Oh yeah, I was one of the interviewers of Lefties, Angry Women." And it's like, "Oh yeah, okay, right, yeah, that's cool." It's like I did a documentary on political lesbianism. It's like, oh, was it was it a one where like they talk about political lesbianism and how like it's good, but they ignored the concerns of black and disabled people? And the look she made was just. And then I just made like I made like this weird kind of glare, like I twisted my face a little. And this was before I like even watched the Lefties documentary. I guessed the plot before I like actually seen it.
And it's like,
So
did she not? This is my question. Did she not know? When she interviewed them, she should know.
I think she interviewed them. No, she also talked about like how it was interesting that these people who did like activism together, like they hated each other, like
Oh, hell yeah.
hated each other, like they had really like visceral hatred for one another. And it's like they went their separate ways. Some of them became more radical, some of them became less radical, and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, one of them like might have committed arson and stuff. And I was like,
Oh, I think definitely.
and it's like,
Probably. I
yeah.
mean, it's not even up for contention. She admitted it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same with John McAfee faking a heart attack. It's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
It's just,
I
it's
just
there.
want to mention.
I don't know. I still believe he didn't fake it. Personally, I'm a John McAfee.
You're believing it over him.
I'm a John McAfee heart attack truther. Even if John McAfee acts like he faked it, I don't believe it. I don't believe John would do that to me.
I think
So,
this is how Linda Bellos and John McAfee got away with it. It's like, you just don't believe it. There's just too many truthers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was the last I seen of that whole thing. But I do want to mention during my time as an archivist, I was basically like trained and tutored by somebody who was a political lesbian. So like, I have a massive amount of respect for like feminists who are actually, doing the good fight and, setting up communities, setting up like, resources, safe places for women and like people recovering from drug addiction and helping trans people, LGBT, just, all the good stuff. And honestly, yeah, I'm just like I'm really proud of like the opportunity that I had. I'm just like really proud of feminism just generally, like the cool feminism that's like, fighting for trans rights and fighting for like working class rights and disability rights. Sorry, I'm going to step down from my soapbox. I'm like kind of like
it's not. That's
gushing.
too sentimental and not irony poisoned enough.
Oh, is it not irony
Stop being
poison?
wholesome. Stop being
being
so
wholesome.
That doesn't
Yeah.
get the clicks. We need to talk
Oh.
about more. We need to talk more about hate. Hate. Let it flow through you.
Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, right, hang on. I just remembered something in this documentary. Anger isn't enough. It has to be hatred. It has to be rage. That's what they said in the documentary.
Oh yeah, that's Sheila Jeffries, isn't it?
Yeah, Sheila Jeffries.
Yeah,
Anyway, I think
she wrote Gender Hurts, which is just the worst piece of shit ever, which we will cover at some point.
yeah. I guess probably a good segment to end on, Alex, would be the UK pushing transgender rights. Do you know about this?
Oh, the net thing. Oh yeah. There's a conspiracy on Mumsnet. There's a lot of
It's this. This is good.
Yeah. It's about like how the government is like, canceling the treatment of cancer patients, the good cancer patients, just so that, and getting nurses to give injections to trans children. This is a real concern. This is a real thing that is happening right now. That, the poor little kiddies are dying of cancer because the government has streamlined service coronavirus to make way for the trans children to get hormones.
Because the
Ugh.
British government is famously very pro-trans and very, very willing to help
Oh,
trans
super.
people.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
they would do that, just to say fuck cancer patients. In fact,
Yeah, it's not even because they're pro-trans, it's just because they enter
fuck cancer
anti-cancer patients.
you know what? I
yes.
believe that. I believe that. Just remove the trans thing.
Right.
That's like,
Okay. Right. This is from somebody from What the Trans, and this is the explainer. Right. So the Minister of Women's Equality, Liz Truss, has held a Women's Equality Select Committee where she intends to protect single-sex spaces. Now that's a TERF code for assigned female at birth only.
yeah.
This has
It's
become
not a very
something.
subtle code, it's barely a dog whistle.
Yeah, this has become something of a slogan amongst most British transphobes who believe trans people should be forced to use services based on their designated gender at birth. This means that trans women are forced into men's facilities, and conversely, trans men are forced into women's spaces (brackets public toilet, changing rooms, etc.). Most alarmingly, she signaled that she intends to restrict the possibility and even ban access to trans healthcare for people under 18, arguing that the under 18s should be protected from decisions that could make irreversible decisions. Now, I just want to mention something real quick. Most trans people will go to the National Health Service, which by law, like, you have to have like a parent, give consent because you're not 18. Until you're 18, you can't make like full decisions. And it gets even more murkier if you have like a learning disability. I'm not getting into this right now. But regardless, no, this Liz is not right. She is very wrong.
What? Really?
Yeah, this whole, yeah, I mean, the NHS is I'm currently on a waiting list. Oh, by the way, if in case you hadn't guessed it, folks, I'm non-binary, so according to TERFs, I guess, I can't use the women's or the men's, I just shit on the floor.
I mean,
So
same.
very relaxed.
I'm non-binary as well, so it's whatever.
I'm the resident cis person. I can go into the bathroom of my choice with
Boo!
no problems.
Boo!
Whoa, I did it. We did
Boo!
gamers. We did gamers.
It's like, this is the thing as well, like this horrible thing that she's trying to do to stop trans people from transitioning, which they're, in an already hellish landscape in the UK. Like, I've been on the waiting list for, I think, about 1.5 years now, and that's just to see a gender specialist. I've been like had got the preliminaries done to be, diagnosed for gender dysphoria, but I have to go see a gender specialist in Manchester, and I'm on a waiting list, and the minimum waiting list is 2 years, and it's probably going to be more. I know people who've tried to transition earlier than I have medically, and they've been on the list for 5 years. Some of them are no longer with us anymore, and
Oh.
some went private
Yeah,
because they were just sick
like
of waiting.
I only managed to get on mine because they quote unquote informally took me off the list, and I came back.
With a vengeance.
Yes.
Guess who's back with a brand new rap? It's Alice.
Guess
And-
who's back with with 3 brand new rats? It's Alice. I actually own rats. We
Yeah.
might talk about rats in a different podcast,
It's
but
nice.
I have took too much screen time.
Yes. I think it's good. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, my only thing I'll add to that is that this is like devastating, because not only is this going to completely fuck over, an already, an already marginalized group in the UK who have to go through hell to just get basic medical care. Like, it's also so vaguely worded, like, irreversible medical decisions could definitely mean abortions and birth control. And that's what's got more people worried. And is probably the underlying reason for this. It's like it's just to take bodily autonomy away from kids in general.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing. This is bad.
But if you want
It's not
more,
good, folks. It's not good.
but if you want to know more about that, I highly recommend the What the Trans. It is a podcast based entirely around like trans topics and stuff.
We gotta stop shouting out other podcasts in our podcast. I did it last episode with QAA. Now we're here with What the Trans.
Look, Lee,
sorry, go on.
we're doing this in good faith. We're doing this in good
Yeah.
faith. But also, like, they're like ridiculously more informed than I am on this. So
Sure.
that's, it's like, even if I didn't want to, I'd still have to,
Sure.
So, Lee, what about your topic?
Alright, so last episode I said I was gonna talk about Jim Watkins, and I am still gonna do that, but not this episode. Because while perusing through this insane spiritualist website, I came across a grifter I had never heard of before, and now I really need to
Oh.
talk about him. So this is a guy who has a bit of a cult following, and I say cult following quite literally. But he has somehow remained undiscovered and unridiculed by the kind of communities that usually go after people like him.
So us.
Yeah, awesome people like us, yes. So it is a great honor to introduce one of the internet's most underrated grifters, Mr. Daniel Scranton, verbal channel, spiritual teacher, and sound healer, as his Amazon authors page introduces him. Alright, so Daniel claims to be able to channel higher beings, which includes, but are not limited to, the creators, the Hathors, the founders, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Kuan Yin, Jesus, Buddha, the Satas, Ashtar Command, the Pleiadian High Council of Seven, the Arcturian Council, and the 9D Arcturian Council, which I guess is a different thing?
Is this D&D? This sounds like
Yeah.
D&D. Like,
This
Yeah, it
sounds
does.
sounds like the kind of word salad I'd come up with.
Yeah, I still have no idea, even after like looking through so much of the website, what the difference between the Arcturian Council and the 9D Arcturian Council is. I don't know, I felt we had to write that twice. I don't know what the difference is.
I mean, is it like sort of just boy bands? Like there's E17 and then there's Boyzone, and it's like they sound the same. But,
Yeah, there's
they are
Ashtar
different.
Command, there's the Pleiadian High Council, there's the Arcturian Council, it's boy bands, yeah.
Oh, girl, I want to take you to a higher plane of existence.
Oh, hell yeah. So, how did Mr. Scranton come to possess these great powers?
Oh, do tell.
In a 45-minute long 480p YouTube video that I forced myself to sit through the entirety of at regular speed, he explains his superhero backstory. So, Daniel Scranton grew up in small-town Connecticut and was raised in a devoutly Catholic household, which is always a great recipe for creating stable and normal human beings. Daniel describes having heavy anxiety as a child, being constantly afraid that he was being judged by God for every minute thing he did.
Relatable.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. I don't want to diminish that. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't sound good.
That feel when constantly judged by God.
Yeah.
Maybe your anxiety may be verified on Twitter, but is it verified in the eyes of God?
So, as Daniel matured, he realized that the guilt he felt over his natural urges and that his constant worrying about being judged by God wasn't very healthy. And as a result, he ended up stepping away from Catholicism, which, good for him, genuinely.
Shaking my head. Honestly. Not even verified by God now.
Yeah, not even verified by God.
Unverified.
He went through his 20s not really thinking about religion much. He even had an atheist phase, which he describes as not fun, because the thought of there being no afterlife was just terrifying to him.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, well, I gotta be honest, as an atheist, I'm not really in it for the fun. As you all know,
Yeah.
I am just permanently joyless. So
Same here, yes.
yeah.
I've been an edgy atheist since I was like 9 years old. This guy has fucking nothing on me.
I was an edgy atheist. Then I was a pagan. Now I'm an agnostic, and I'm coming back to paganism. But prior to all that, I was C of E. So
Is it because of the sex witchcraft that we mentioned? You know,
Is
is
it
that more
because
a
of
draw?
the Illuminati, the Freemasons?
no.
Well, she would say
It-
that.
Yeah.
Look, look, like if this ever gets famous, like I want a TV tropes page that mentions like that I'm a Freemason member, or like whatever, like first thing, like straight up first thing, known Freemason Alice Shelley Forbes.
I can put that in the description.
Oh my fuck.
Yes, no.
Our social media, Alice, known Freemason.
Yeah, and then like they're all gonna like be like disappointed when I'm not actually a Freemason. Like the working for them I did do, but I'm not an initiated member.
But can you become an
what-
initiated member? Is what I'm asking. What I need you to do, Alice, is infiltrate the Illuminati so that we can get content.
Yeah,
I'll think about it.
good. I'm expecting that now for as an episode.
I
So-
used a full coupon from Facebook to boost our first podcast, so we need to
Oh,
just keep
what?
this ball rolling. Yeah, I did.
Um,
I got offered like a coupon for $10 to like boost, our podcast on Facebook. It got us a grand total of 5 new views.
You did it. We did it, gamers.
We did it.
Woo.
We're famous now. We're famous.
We're famous, yes.
Nice. We're famous. No need to thank us. No,
Mm.
I mean, thank us, please. Give us your money. Devote yourselves entirely to us.
Yeah.
Just develop a really unhealthy obsession with us. Just really ruin your life just because.
I feel like I'm being called out for my extreme love of this podcast right here. I feel like I'm the exact type of person. you're
Hey,
calling
we
out
didn't
right
even
now.
mention it. We didn't even mention it. You're just putting that in. It's like, oh god, I feel so attacked right now. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we're not. I'm just.
Look, like, I obsess a lot about things. So I can't like really like call people out on it. I literally have Shelley in my name in reference to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Like that's that's the level of obsession I'm on. So yeah, I can't call you out on that. But also, please do not actually obsess over us. It was a joke. Please.
Yeah,
It was
seriously.
not a joke. Please actually do. I'm confirming it was not a joke. All right. So Daniel went through his edgy atheist phase, and but then he listened to some shitty spiritualist self-help audiobook which featured Deepak Chopra, and as with so many other, Deepak Chopra completely melted his brain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, the thinker, the logical mind guy, as he actually describes himself, was awakened by this alternative medicine grifter nonsense because I guess he was just that desperate for something to fill the religion-shaped hole in his heart.
I wish he just chose video games instead.
Yeah.
Be healthier at this point.
Yeah, so Daniel, enabled by random forum posters and spiritual teachers, fell down this rabbit hole of mythicism until he eventually discovered his one true calling, channeling, which is, of course, when you spiritually connect with a higher entity or several higher entities or a dozen higher entities in Daniel's case, and you channel them, you allow them to speak through you. So the first time Daniel ever channeled, it was on accident. He was doing massage therapy on someone. And
I was not expecting that. Was it just? Wait. Hold on. So he was doing a massage, right?
yeah,
And,
he was
like,
doing massage
was it-
therapy.
Was
Yes.
did he just start shaking it, going like ah?
Not far off, yeah. He describes
my God.
how his hands just started moving on their own without his
Oh,
input.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, and his lips just started making strange whispering noises. And just
I bet that's what he told the court.
Just take a moment to imagine how terrifying it would be if you were getting a massage and then the fucking masseur just starts doing erratic noises and fucking horror movie whispering noises like he was fucking possessed.
Hey, don't say that. Oh god. In between whale noises as well, being like just all of these like
That is really not far off, as you're gonna see. And now comes the part of Daniel's life where things get a bit dark, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Please, can we like do an episode where we don't have like a mention of rape or anything?
Yeah, it's not
there's
really...
actually going to be a sexual assault.
Oh, phew. Okay, right.
He
No.
didn't do any sexual assault as far as we know it.
Okay, well that's good at least.
So yeah, his darkness was just that he was in an unhappy marriage. He was in emotional pain as well as physical pain because he had this heavy lifting job that was really not good for him. And he became suicidal. And the reason he didn't kill himself was because he didn't want to do that to his then wife, whose brother had recently committed suicide. So yeah, it's sad. It's not good. Yeah, he was going through a tough time. And I don't want to make fun of this. I just bring it up to show how he kinda got to the point where he were. Because in this rough time, in this darkness, there came a light. Daniel was contacted by aliens.
Oh my god.
They beamed down good vibes, good energy to him. And the way he describes this experience is just really, really strange. Because he describes this...
Well, that's really strange. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, go on.
He describes feeling this intense ecstasy throughout his body and begging them for more. And it's like he describes a drug high or an orgasm. Really fucking odd.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm just going,
So Daniel starts asking them questions like, are you aliens?
I personally would. Like, are you aliens?
Yes, are you aliens? Yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's...
Jokes off.
You know what? I don't know why people haven't thought to ask that question before, really. Because, like, if I'm in front of... I'm like, are you... Like, there could be people in costumes. You don't know.
Yeah, he didn't even see them. They literally just contacted him by sending down vibe to him.
Okay.
That's the way he contacted him.
Okay, like, yeah, so basically he's orgasming because the spirit is in his body. Is that what we're getting?
He's orgasming because of aliens, and there's a weird about alien stories like that, yes.
Sorry.
There's also a story, that's completely unrelated, there's a story of, like, this guy who just orgasmed in his car, and later he was like, yeah, aliens. Did it. Aliens beam down forward into my brain, and I'm
going to use that as an excuse next time I get caught masturbating. It's like, aliens did it.
Yeah. Aliens were just sending down sexual vibes to me, yes.
That's where all this ectoplasm came from. I swear, that's real.
Yeah. So Daniel asked them, are you aliens? And they answered in the affirmative by sending him vibes. And then he asked, are you here to fix me? And then they sent no vibes, indicating the answer was no, they're not there to fix him. So then he asked, are you here to play with me? And they answered yes, and it's really starting to sound like a weirdly specific fetish at this point.
I mean, this is like... What's the consent situation on that? I mean, this is assuming
I don't know,
the
alien stuff
real.
is so fucking weird. Like, every alien sex story is like dubious consent to some degree.
I mean,
even like the ones that don't include rape are dubious consent to some degree.
I do wonder about this, alien abductions in general. I do wonder if a lot of them are just rationalizations, like, real things that happen, like real horrific things, like they either imagined it or like they're... Or they just like had a sexual experience and they, didn't want to tell the truth about it.
I don't think this is the case in Daniel's case because I think he's just kind of making this shit up, as we'll see from later.
Yeah. If he's just a compulsive liar, then disregard what I said.
I'm not sure if he's a compulsive liar, but he's making a lot of money off this grift, so.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So he's getting alien orgasms. He's doing Q&A with the aliens, and then the aliens just and Daniel starts actively trying to channel again so he can chase this high, and he just can't get it to work. So he goes to a workshop by his mysticist grifter role model, who's some dude that goes by Abraham, who's apparently like a minor celebrity within the channeling community, I guess. And as Daniel is, I didn't write this down, but I feel the need to mention it. Daniel was just a fucking fanboy of this guy. He followed him all around the fucking country. On every like tape you could buy of this guy, Daniel was there in the audience. He just followed this guy everywhere he went. It was a groupie for Abraham. It's kind of sad, really.
I must say, if you're going to be a fan of some, I mean, well, we shouldn't shame him for, his fan base or whatever. I mean, I guess like all of my nerdery for like Batman and stuff can be seen as pretty cringe. So why not be a fan of a bunch of grifters who prey on people's insecurities in order to make money?
I mean, like, I had a friend who said to me, "Look, Alice, some people are Batman to cope."
Sure. Batman is Batman to cope.
Indeed.
Yes.
I mean, it's canonically true.
It is
So
true.
as Daniel is at this workshop by Abraham, he starts to feel something. He starts dry heaving, which according to him happens when he's just tuning into the energy so
This doesn't sound pleasant.
No, it does not. To me, it sounds more like some physical condition that he should probably see a doctor about. But according to him, it's when he channels, he just starts fucking dry heaving.
I mean, is this in America, by the way?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
This makes that yeah, he can't see a doctor, so that
Fair.
that explains some of it,
Sure. Anyways, his friends didn't tell him that it might be a medical problem. They were fully on board. They were like, dude, you're gonna channel. Oh my god, dude. That's what they were like. They were fully supportive. So they sat him down in a circle and they asked him questions in an attempt to get him to channel again. And Daniel just starts fucking erratically waving his head back and forth like he's a fucking snake while making these bizarre noises and facial expressions. And his friends were they still continued encouraging and enabling him even after this. So does
This must be covered in a horror movie somewhere. Like this is like the beginning of a horror movie where they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna channel," but actually it's the devil they're doing, and they have no idea.
Yeah, the plot twist is it turns out that all the people he's channeling, all the aliens, all the archangels are actually just the devil fucking playing a prank on him. And that would be pretty funny.
That would be pretty metal, actually.
It would be. So his friends enable him, his girlfriend enables him, he's definitely not a cult leader, Abraham enables him, and Daniel continues on bullshit, of course. So several years pass, and Daniel starts claiming to be able to channel even more beings, like the creators, Ophelia the fairy, and the Arcturians, of course. There is bread and butter, the Arcturians.
Oh, of course. Who hasn't heard of the Octurians?
Unfortunately, I had prior to this. I am deep into this.
Of course you did.
I have so many fucking brain worms. Right, so Daniel becomes a professional channel himself, starts charging people for this shit, and Daniel compares being a channel to being a brain surgeon or rocket scientist, because it apparently takes just as much skill to do as those jobs.
Sure, he believes that. I mean, it doesn't sound pleasant, so I guess in his mind, if he isn't a compulsive liar, then it might seem like that, because rocket scientists tend to not dry heave every time they're doing calculations. And surgeons, if they're dry heaving during surgery and like just going, that's generally a fireable offense.
Yeah, that's generally frowned upon to start dry heaving rating, yes.
Is this going to be like the horny episode?
That's horny?
I don't know. Is this horny to you, Alice? Is the scat porn and the pimp porn and the alien abductions horny to you?
Don't talk about our sex life, Alice. Don't want to get home.
Look, like all I'm saying is there's a lot of sex in this particular segment. That's all I'm saying.
What are you talking about? It's so
all-
pure. All
It's
they were
even
doing was sending good vibes. All they're doing is sending good vibes. They're just saying hello in the way that aliens say hello, which is sending
Yeah,
good vibes.
aliens say
and
send
giving them
hello by sending
boners.
you orgasms. Yes, it is known. I feel like it's very important to note that as Daniel is recounting all of this, he just gives off the most creepy vibes imaginable. He has
Oh,
this
no,
fucking.
you don't say.
He has this large smile on his face, but his eyes are like really cold and malicious, and it's like it
Oh,
really does give me like Charles Manson or Marshall Applewhite vibes. It does.
this is the start of a horror movie. Like, this is all
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
Yeah, he really does give me the exact same vibes that Charles Manson and Marshall Applewhite does. I cannot understate that. It's not good. The vibes are not good. And it is not helped by the fact that the camera is placed slightly angled above him, which results in him constantly doing the fucking Kubrick stare at the camera.
Is
It's
that
not good, folks.
intentional? Do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think why. I don't know why you would want to make himself look even creepier, but right. So this is Daniel Scranton's origin story. But what is he up to now? Well, through his website, which looks like it was designed during the time in the 90s when no one really had figured out what graphic design was, Daniel figured out dozens of ways to part people from their money. There's the weekly group live Q&A events, and the payment information is a bit vague on this one, but it sounds like you have to pay $22 to even join in the first place,
Oh,
and then
come on.
and then another 24 just to ask one question.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, and that's if you just want to ask one question. If you want to go for the highest payment option, you can end up paying $100 just for one of these live streams.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's the 1 hour long group healing event where you can pay Daniel $22 to send healing vibes your way. And if you'd rather not,
the aliens gave it to him for free.
yeah,
What a fucking rip-off.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you'd rather not do that in group and instead have a personal healing session, that's gonna cost you at least $130 up to $195 for personal healing.
this kid has got it sorted.
He's got,
you know.
it gets worse.
Look, can you just come out and say that he's a sex worker? Like, you know, it would be so much easier for him.
Yeah, there's the private sessions, Uwu, where he channels aliens for you to speak
Oh
with.
my god. This is Findom. This is what financial domination is. This is exactly what it is. Like,
right, and these start at $72 for 20 minutes. And it goes up
that's
to
all you need.
$260.
That's all you need is the 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, it goes up to $260 for 80. And you can get a discount for 6 60-minute sessions, which will land you at $888.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He can pay his medical bills with that, which he
Yeah.
clearly needs from all the dry heaving.
Sorry, Alice,
Oh
what
my
were you gonna
God.
say?
Confound my co-hosts. They drive me to drink.
There's private channeling lessons, and there's spiritual business consultation. And this starts at $155 for 60 minutes and goes up to $555 for a series of 4 sessions.
Oh my
There's-
god.
There's couple counseling with the creators, where the creators can help you do your counseling.
What?
You can personally speak with the creators, and they help you do couples counseling, and it can cost
really-
up to.
He really covers all bases. He really
He
does.
does.
Like anything you
He
could
does.
possibly want from these deities, you get.
Yeah. And that can go up to over $1,100,
Oh
baby.
my god. Oh my.
It's couple counseling with the creators themselves. If they gotta be able to fix my broken marriage, if no one else can, it's the
Yeah, if you
creators.
don't count, you find like God has just,
Yeah.
discounted your relationship. You should start over. I'm just,
And-
you know what? I gotta, as much as angry as this makes me, as this is clearly a scam, I gotta admire the hustle of this kid. I really do.
Yeah,
Like, that's
you do,
incredible.
yes. It's definitely not a fandom sex cult, I swear.
What's sexy about aliens giving you orgasms? Like,
What's not sexy about that?
I think that says more about you, Alice, than anything else. Okay.
No,
Like,
Alice aside here. I get it. I get it.
yeah.
Look, like I'm just so confused with this. Like, he's dry heaving, dry fucking heaving.
He's dry heaving. He's flailing his arms, making weird noise. I think we broke Alice.
I think we broke Alice with this. It's just
Yeah.
we've done so much. I honestly thought that, like,
Look,
girls shitting into John McAfee's mouth would be the weirdest shit that would destroy Alice, but no, it's aliens sending
Look,
orgasm
I
and
have
good
not
vibes.
survived 2 episodes of this goddamn podcast. Ah, Dionysus, take you all. Ah, jeez.
If you already know right off the bat that you're going to be paying for a lot of private sessions and you'd rather have it be just one big payment, you can just straight up hand over $2,888 for a 1-year membership. Just right up front, pay him pay him almost $3,000.
This motherfucker.
This
He's got
motherfucker.
He's got microtransactions and he's got a season pass.
He's fucking does. He's got several season passes. He got monthly. He got like 6 months.
Is he fucking Ubisoft of channelers? Like, really? What the fuck is going on here? Like, the sheer audacity of this kid. I love him. He's just
he's so good.
If I had, like, no moral fiber at all, I would definitely be in on this. It's just
absolutely
so lucrative.
And if you want to know how many people are actually paying for this, we don't have the numbers, but just take in the fact that there is a 3-month wait period to get a private channeling session with this guy.
Jesus, you know what? That's actually fair because I'm having to wait years to get my fucking transition sorted. But you can talk to God after 3 months.
I mean, you could probably just go to Daniel Scranton and tell him to send you, like, gender transitioning vibes.
Yeah, I might do actually. How much is that going to cost?
Probably thousands of dollars.
Probably less than what I'm paying.
Okay, so, listen. Like, look, I just want a moment where it's not, like, where we're not talking about this. Where we're not just talking about that. So, like, we can just focus. We can focus on my voice alone. Good. I got your attention. Trans and non-binary rights. Okay, continue.
The Arcturian Council probably does say trans rights. At least I hope they do. They seem like good allies.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of them before. I'm not a real fan, so.
Yeah, you're not a real fan of the 90 Arcturian Council.
Yeah.
You don't know about the Starseeds shit.
Okay, what?
Starseeds is you. You right there. You listening. You might be a descendant of an alien. You might have their spirits. You might be a starseed of them. There's a quiz you can do actually that tells you what kind of starseed you are.
Oh, send me what kind of star. I would love to know what kind of star.
All right, actually, we're taking a tangent from from Daniel Scranton to do the starseeds quiz. You both do the quiz. I've already done it.
We'll do the quiz. Let's do it.
2 hours later.
Oh, you're a Pleiadian. Welcome to the club.
Oh, you're a Pleiadian too? Oh.
I'm a Pleiadian too, yes. The Pleiadians are the creatures who are actually helping the Great Awakening, QAnon stuff.
What?
From their planet.
What?
Yes.
What? Shit? Really?
Yeah, it's the part of the QAnon faction which believes in aliens, believes that Pleiadians are the good aliens who are helping Donald Trump. It's partially it's not necessarily. It's sort of a part of the Starseed community ties into QAnon, and some of the QAnon community ties into Starseeds, but it's like it's sort of fringes. The fringe within both communities believe in the other. It's a small sort of Venn diagram, but it does exist.
Holy shit! I could like grift so many people with this information.
Yeah, we're Pleiadians. We're actually helping Donald Trump do the Great Awakening.
Oh, but what is Alice?
I'm an Andromedan.
You're an Andromedan, yes.
I'm an Andromedan.
I don't know. The Andromedans kind of chilling, I think. I don't know what they're up to right now, actually.
It says, you seek freedom. There is a deep inner thirst and drive that leads you to... to search for the feeling of freedom. You may change jobs, homes, relationships in your search. At some point, you will realize that the freedom you are seeking and the feelings that you will often have feeling trapped are not due to your actual circumstances. The true freedom only comes from within you.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's just star signs, but more
Yeah,
complicated,
it's just
really.
star signs, but it is like still like kind of accurate. I mean, to be fair, yours is quite accurate to like your feeling, but mine's just lies. Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
just
you mean
lies.
we
Like
could? You mean we could have told lies? Oh,
yeah,
damn!
we could have said, yeah, you should have done that. You should have lied. Get up to like the Palladian
Alright,
gang.
so getting back to Daniel Scranton.
Yes.
Please
So
Yes,
if
tell me
this-
about
as a
them.
Palladian.
Yeah, as a Palladian, yes.
It's asking me to join a newsletter. Damn it.
Alright, so if
So-
if this many people are willing to pay these outrageous amounts of money and be on these fucking month-long waiting lists, it's gotta be good, right? The channeling gotta be some
yeah.
real good channeling.
Yeah, more dry
Let's-
heaving. Yeah.
He has a lot of a lot of testimonials on his website, and I think we should look through some of them.
Oh, do. Let's do.
ML from Arizona, presumably a Marxist-Leninist from the name, I'm guessing, says, when he was toning to connect, I could literally feel it. I know that he built a network of sacred geometry in my consciousness, and that was how we connected. It absolutely blew me away. I could still feel it when I retired for the evening. It was like I was wearing my jeweled crown as a high priestess. Totally
Okay.
amazing.
I'm sorry, this is just getting more horny by the minute. This is like
Yes, yeah, I could
told
feel
you.
it as I was going to
Sex
bed.
cults.
So, yeah. Okay, Patricia S. says, I was amazed, and so were my doctors, as after this relatively short time, when I was given the go-ahead for my surgery, my ulcer was all but healed. So Daniel can actually do long-distance healing as well. You don't need doctors.
oh man, maybe he
You
can
just
like
need- just need him.
bless me for my transition. Like he could just send me good vibes, and my tits will just fall off. You know.
Yeah, yes. Alright, Charles M. says, Daniel's daily messages are like this, consistent in rising, potent in healing, nurturing, and rejuvenating. And like the sun, these messages give tirelessly, compassionately, a showering of living water, light and love. It keeps sounding like a fetish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. All of these sound incredibly horny. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, are you
True,
sure that
yes.
this spiritual thing and not, another website?
So this just goes on and on with Dustin
my gosh.
singing his praises. He's apparently a very good verbal channel, and you can trust that, because a person who says they have gone to many verbal channels says he's the best verbal channel. So that's a good review if I've ever heard one.
Mhm.
Very trustworthy reviewer. But Daniel can not only verbally channel, he can also write articles as the 90 Arcturian Council on his website, conveniently enough. And these articles aren't really as funny as you'd think. They're mostly just vague, self-important self-help crap, but there are a few gems in there.
So it's Jordan Peterson, but more spiritual.
Yes, so here's the council talking about why Atlantis sank.
Okay.
Greetings! Greetings! We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We welcome you to a new era in the evolution of your consciousness as energetic beings who align yourself with physical bodies. You have awakened within yourself certain aspects of your consciousness that have been asleep for generations on your planet, and these aspects are taking you back to when you were approaching a fifth dimensional frequency range while on the continent of Atlantis. You can take yourselves to that time period and feel how connected you were to your higher self during the final years on Atlantis. There was a great deal of discord on the continent before it sank because of your fifth dimensional expressions that were not ready to experience the energy of planet Earth. And so, in a sense, humanity sank Atlantis to protect the sanctity of your higher selves, your fifth dimensional selves. But now...
Oh, so it's alright then, that Atlantis sunk, really.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
We weren't ready for it.
Yeah, we were ready for it, yes. We did it to protect ourselves, actually. But now you are ready to make that shift. You are ready to embody that energy. You are ready to become your highest selves in the flesh. And the Earth is ready for it as well. The Earth is an expression of your collective consciousness, and the Earth has shifted herself to a fifth dimensional
Oh
frequency.
yeah, I'm ready for it, baby. Yeah.
You're ready for it. Hell yeah, you're feeling it now.
Oh yeah, I feel the Earth move.
Now, because you are still able to perceive planet Earth, that must mean you are holding a fifth dimensional frequency state more often than not. That must mean you are ready for a full ascension experience.
Oh yeah.
Many of you are ready for the full ascension experience,
Yeah.
Alex? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
ready. You're ready. You're feeling it.
Yeah!
Oh god, this is so
Ah!
Many of you who are awake had at least one lifetime there as a high
Alex,
priestess,
please.
as a wizard, a sorcerer, or a...
Oh, wizards!
I love having a lifetime on Atlantis as a sorcerer and a wizard.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
great.
do. Oh, it is cigarette. Oh.
Just play Dungeons and
Oh.
Dragons.
Yeah,
And
literally
hire
just play Dungeons and
Hire
Dragons.
a hypnosis sex worker. That's all you need to do. This is all it is. It's just.
Oh.
You are
Oh.
downloading these abilities as we speak, and you're granting yourself more access to them than you had ever before. What this means is that you are gaining more access to those fifth dimensional abilities, and even the ones that people have had in the third and fourth dimensions, but have eluded some of you. We are talking about the ability to channel. We are talking about psychic and clairvoyant abilities. These are accessible to you now because of the shift that has occurred between your current collective consciousness and the relationship that you have to the Atlantean collective consciousness. There will still be individuals who have traumas to clear from that catastrophic fall of Atlantis.
Oh no!
If you are hearing this or reading this, there's a possibility that you still have some trauma to clear. But our point
Wait,
here is that as a collective, you have made it over that hump.
Hang the fuck on. Hang the fuck
Yes.
on.
Yeah?
So you're telling me we have intergenerational trauma
Yes.
from Atlantis?
Yes. That is exactly what I'm telling you, Alice. Yes.
Like, okay, so intergenerational trauma is a thing. It's a real thing.
You can read more about it in the article Getting Past the Trauma of Atlantis. Yeah.
You know what? I haven't got any fucking alcohol. I wish I actually had some alcohol.
Like,
So I could just douse myself in fire and be like, take me. Take me,
You know-
almighty Jeeb.
you know, I think you may be struggling to deal with your intergenerational trauma from Atlantis.
Yeah, from
Alex, I
Atlantis,
think.
yes.
From
I
Atlantis
think us
specifically.
reading about this
Some
is
of
bringing up some painful memories. Time you
You know, okay, everyone, like, you've got to put a trigger warning.
Yeah,
on this
we're putting a
into
trigger
it.
warning for fucking Discord sinking. Yes.
Yeah, just to, like, yeah. Because, you know, some people have been, like, deeply affected by the sinking
Yeah.
of Atlantis, which was, you know, for our protection, but nonetheless upset a load of us who never
Of course,
even
yes.
existed in that period. So, you know, we got to take this really seriously.
We are interested to see what will happen now. Enough individuals have made peace with what happened there on Atlantis. Have you all made peace? Alice clearly hasn't. Alex, have you
No.
made peace on
I
with
made
what happened
peace.
on
I
Atlantis?
don't know what Alice's problem is. You know, I'm very well adjusted. I believe that I've overcome my my trauma from Atlantis.
Yeah. I have not,
Um,
unfortunately. I too am suffering from interdimensional in an intergenerational interdimensional.
Intergenerational, interdimensional,
Yes, Atlantis trauma.
5D
It's very
chess.
horrible. I believe that is why I have anxiety. It's from Atlantis. Yeah.
Yeah, not
There-
anything we're currently experiencing in our lives. It's definitely Atlantis.
There are many similarities between what you are living now and what you were living then, but the difference is that you are not going to repeat that same set of circumstances. You are
Oh,
ready
yeah.
at this time to take all that you have been given and all that you have ascended from within and shift your consciousness. We are absolutely certain of it. We are the Arcturian Council. We have enjoyed connecting with you. Beautiful, right? Yes.
Beautiful. I have a
Thank you
tear
for
in my
that.
eye.
The 90 Arcturian Council sounds very eloquent in writing, sure. But how does it sound when Daniel actually channels?
Oh boy.
Well, we are gonna close this segment by finding out. We're gonna listen to, and we'll include the audio of this in the episode, we're gonna listen to a video he uploaded yesterday as a recording. We'll be watching a few minutes of it.
Hey. Here we go.
Hi everyone, this is Daniel Scranton, and I'm going to channel the Arcturian Council.
Okay. It's still going.
We're not gonna watch this whole video, but he does go on like this for 20 minutes.
Oh my god. Oh wait, he's doing the finger thing. He's doing the finger thing.
Ah, yes. The okay symbol.
He calls this overtoning. I don't know how
I
it
call
works.
it I call it overacting.
Yes. Go off, King. Go off. Connect to those higher frequencies, King.
I like it that it is just like, you know, getting a bad car to start. It's like just Twitch, what the hell is going?
Remember, people pay thousands of dollars for this.
I
For
have
private
decided.
sessions of this.
I've decided I'm no longer a Wiccan. I am a Scrantian.
Oh, hell yeah. You're gonna be paying those $2,800 per year. Huh.
Yeah, I totally make that money.
He's talking now.
I want to send you to a higher power, Octarian Council. I mean, it is kind of hypnotic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do want to watch this to the end a little bit. I know we don't have time.
We're not watching all 18 minutes of it. Actually, we can. We can edit it down. We can watch 18 fucking minutes of this and edit it down.
Yeah.
I was gonna turn it off at this point, but you've condemned yourself to this torture.
I mean,
We're staying and watching this.
Wait, there was whoa! Something moved in the back. Something moved in the back right there. What was that?
Yeah, it was a little lighter. I'm pretty sure I added it in post, but everyone in the comment section is just going fucking crazy and claiming this is evidence.
I'm going crazy.
Well, going crazy. You're rewinding.
Yeah, I want to catch it.
I think it's at. Wait, all the comments tell me where it is at. Let me see. It's 250.
There it is. There it is.
I'm like 90% sure he added it in post.
No. If you go back, listen. It's a car.
It is. It fucking is. You're right. Oh god. Oh god.
On YouTube, he even liked the comment that was commenting about the orb, so he's not correcting anyone about this.
Oh well, you know. I mean, to be honest, that had me until you pointed out it was a car, and I now feel like a fucking idiot. Like, thinking you added a special effect to it. It's just so.
I mean, at least you're not one of the people in the comment section thinking that it was actually a sign of aliens.
I mean,
saying that's proof that he's.
I mean, to be fair, the aliens could drive cars.
Letting them shine.
We don't know that.
Fair. And he's actually talking now. So
Oh, there it is again! There it is again!
You have had
The aliens.
plenty of time.
Okay, this is enough of this. This is enough of this. Again, this is what people are asked to pay thousands of dollars for private sessions of. It's
God.
incredible.
That's art. What I witnessed was
Truly.
art.
And with that, I think we've all had more than enough Daniel Scranton in our lives. Right, Alice, you want to tell us where we can find you on the internet?
You can find me at Rebel Gender, and this is directly to Linda Bellos at me.
Alex.
You can find me on twitter.com at obscura.com.
All right, and you can. I'm doing the gestures. You're dry heaving. Fuck him up and channeling.
Not gonna lie, you're coming off pretty ripped.
All right, so that's translating that into English for those who can't speak light language. I told you that you can find me on bewildered_b on twitter.com.
And
And
you can find Alex at Obscuracom.
yeah. If you can't
And
understand light
Atlantis.
language, that's what's obscure. That's what Alex said. Yes. So,
If you're not
thank
a
you very
Palladian,
much.
don't even talk to me.
Yeah, you have to do the quiz, and you have to
Do
send
the
me a
quiz.
screenshot confirming you're a Palladian for me to follow you back. All right. So thank you very much for tuning into this mess of episode. And if you somehow enjoyed it, please do rate, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
You can also tune in to see us play some Dungeons and Dragons on Saturdays at the Communes and Comrades YouTube channel, if that's something you're interested in. And until next time, folks, we are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Fuck.